Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Cleaning Hero Squad channel. Today we've got a challenge that's nothing short of monumental. Picture this, a house filled to the brim with 10 years of hoarded mess. Yes, you heard that right, an entire decade of untouched chaos. The moment we stepped through the front door, we were hit by the overwhelming stench of decay and neglect. The air was heavy, almost suffocating, with layers of dust swirling around as we moved. Piles of clutter were stacked so high they reached the ceiling, making it almost impossible to navigate. But today, we're not just here to clean a house. We're here to bring it back to life. Stay with us as we uncover the hidden treasures, tackle the overwhelming filth, and transform this space into a home once again. Let's dive in. As we move further into the house, the true scale of the mess becomes apparent. The living room is unrecognizable. Furniture buried under heaps of old newspapers, broken appliances, and forgotten trinkets. The floors are sticky, the carpet stained beyond belief, and an odor of rot lingers in every corner. Let me describe the kitchen for you. Oh, it's a biohazard. Food from years ago has turned into a grotesque science experiment. The countertops are barely visible beneath piles of expired groceries, containers, and grease. The smell is so overpowering, it's hard to stand there for more than a few minutes at a time. Oh my gosh, it's not just a mess, it's a tragedy. As we made our way to the backyard, ready to clean up the mess, things quickly turned into a nightmare. The piles of broken furniture, old appliances, and trash were bad enough. But then we saw something we never expected. Snakes, slithering through the mess, their bodies weaving in and out of the clutter. Every step we took felt like it could trigger a confrontation with one of these dangerous creatures. It was chaos, pure and simple. An overwhelming, heart-stopping moment that turned this cleaning job into something far more dangerous than we ever imagined. As soon as we stepped inside, the smell hit us like a wall. It was overpowering, like a mix of decay and old stale air. The house reeked of neglect, years of it. The kitchen was even worse. Grease and oil covered every surface, sticking to the stove, countertops, and cabinets like they hadn't been touched in decades. Dust had built up in every corner, forming a dense, sticky layer that seemed impossible to wipe away. The floor was a mess of crumbs and old food stains, remnants of a place that had been completely abandoned. It was suffocating, this overwhelming smell of rot and oil. The whole house felt like a time capsule of neglect, and the air was a constant reminder of just how long it had been left to fall apart. The tiles, which once gleamed with a brilliant shine, were now completely buried under a thick layer of dust. What should have been bright, vibrant surfaces now appeared dull and lifeless, as if years of neglect had stripped them of their beauty. But as we began to scrub away the grime, something incredible happened. With every wipe, the tiles slowly began to reveal their true colors, their original luster coming back to life. Seeing the transformation was more than just satisfying. It was proof that no matter how bad things get, with effort and care, we can bring them back to life. When we first laid eyes on the toilet, it was honestly shocking. The neglect was evident, with thick layers of grime and dust caked all over, leaving the once white surface barely recognizable. The smell was overwhelming, stale, musty, and downright disgusting. It felt like stepping into a time capsule of neglect. The sight of it was enough to make anyone want to turn around, but we didn't. With a mix of determination and resolve, we got to work. We scrubbed, wiped, and fought against years of buildup. We had taken something forgotten and turned it back into something beautiful, proving that, with the right effort, anything can be restored to its former glory. When we saw that ventilation grate, it was honestly terrifying. What should have been a clean, white surface was completely overtaken by layers of thick, yellow grease. The vents, once pristine, had been smothered by years of neglect. The yellow stains were almost mesmerizing in their horror, a constant reminder of how badly it had been left to decay. Finally, when the vent was spotless again, we stood back in awe. It felt like we'd taken something revolting and completely transformed it. The satisfaction of seeing it restored, fresh and clean, was overwhelming, and it reminded us that with patience and hard work, nothing is beyond redemption. Cleaning is more than just a task. It's a commitment to your well-being. We often think of it as a chore, something we can put off until later. But when we neglect it, we are allowing stress, clutter, and even harmful bacteria to take over our spaces. It's easy to ignore the mess, to convince ourselves that it can wait. But in reality, each day we delay, we're inviting more dirt, more germs, and more potential health risks into our lives. We'd love to hear from you. Do you have any favorite cleaning tips or tricks that help you keep your space tidy and fresh? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's help each other create cleaner, healthier homes, one step at a time. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey. If you were inspired by today's video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And hey, let us know, what would you tackle if faced with 10 years of hoarded mess? Until next time, this is the Cleaning Hero Squad, proving once again that no mess is too big for our team. See you in the next video.